Hello everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Sort of a Cooking Show from Yeah, I'd Hang Out With Her. This month we are working with a few difficulties. Well, it's not difficulties. This month we have a new tripod, which I'm trying to figure out. So I don't really know how the quality of this is going to look or the framing, but we'll find out. Secondly, I had a big plan to do a roasted chicken with Alan as a guest, but we were both, well, I was suffering from an existential hangover. But I've decided last minute to still film a video. It's the next day. It's a morning. And I'm going to make biscuits. This is the most basic biscuit recipe. I can't necessarily claim it as my own. I once had a 5-year-old friend tell me her biscuit recipe, and it was exactly this biscuit recipe. So this isn't original, but they're really easy, and everybody really should be making biscuits because they're delicious. So let's just do this. You're going to need flour, baking powder, salt, sugar, butter, you should use unsalted cold. Well, you should use cold butter, period. Unsalted preferable, but if you only have salted, it's fine. Just use a little bit less salt. And buttermilk is the very best option for your milk. But if you only have half and half or milk or almond milk or whatever, it's fine. That will also work. Just make biscuits. Okay, let's move the camera over so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. First things first, preheat the oven. I forgot to say that. Preheat the oven to 425 degrees. It's hot, but it's what you need. And line a baking sheet with parchment. Okay. 2 cups of flour. Just leave your flour out. You're going to need it in a minute. 1 tablespoon of sugar. 1 tablespoon baking powder. And a teaspoon of salt. That's all your dry ingredients. Just whisk those together or use a fork. Turns out we don't have unsalted butter, so I'm using salted. I still put in a teaspoon. We're just going to see what happens. Okay, this is the part that I feel like people don't want to get their hands dirty for, and you kind of have to. First things first, cut your butter into small, I'll show you. I do it in half and half, and then like eighths. Like this size to start. Okay, and then what you're gonna do is knead all of the butter into the flour. So first, get all of your butter coated in flour so that it's easier to get your hands into. And you're just gonna kind of flatten the pieces between your fingers at first. You're trying to get it to like a sandy, kind of pebbly consistency. Okay, and now you've got kind of this shaggy dough. Perfect. Now we need the buttermilk. Okay, you're gonna need 3/4 cup of buttermilk, about. Sometimes you need a little bit more, but you'll be able to tell if the dough is too wet or not. Buttermilk in. Oh my gosh. I always prefer to use a wooden spoon for this. It doesn't ultimately matter at all. I don't know. Anyway, you're going to get all of the dough coated with your buttermilk. And you're not aggressively mixing this. You're sort of gently folding it. This is very loosely sort of stirred together, as you can see with the wooden spoon. I'm going to flour my cutting board. And then in the bowl, sort of knead this. Good Lord. Knead the dough together. Mine is a little dry, so I'm literally just going to add, there we go. Maybe even been too much, we'll see. And just knead that together in the bowl. Anyway. Let's go with shaggy. You have kind of a shaggy ball. Okay? Pieces of butter in it. It's awesome. That's so fun. So now, I flatten this out into a disc, probably about half an inch. Yeah, about half an inch thick. I usually end up with 8 biscuits, but you can make this any size you want. You can make them thinner, thicker, smaller, biscuit cutter. Yeah, and as far as a cookie cutter goes, you can use the bottom of a glass. I'm going to use my heart-shaped cookie cutter because it's cute. Our literal heirloom cookie cutter in our home that was passed on from my grandmother is literally an old tuna can. So you can literally use anything you want. I've got my heart. You can kind of already see the little layers in there. 12 minutes, 425. Okay, biscuits are out of the oven. As you can see, this is a very ugly one. That's fine. She's still going to taste good. It always happens. It's fine. They have a lot of layers. They're hot. All right. I've also scrambled some eggs in the meantime and pulled out our various toppings. Alan is going to have chicken gravy that he made last night. I don't want a tummy ache, so I'm going to do my homemade strawberry jam and butter, obviously. Now, one other thing that I do like to do right when they come out of the oven is just go ahead and slather the top of them with butter while they're still warm. It kind of makes them look prettier, but then it also just gives it kind of like a crunchy, buttery top. There they are. So cute. So flaky. Let's open her. I mean, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to put butter, strawberry jam on mine. I guess I'll just show you so I can do my famous taste test. God, I'm sweating. All right, strawberry. Taste test. Thank you for joining me for episode 4 of Sort of a Cooking Show. For me, I had to hang out with her. Next month, we will get it together to bring you a guest host, Chef Alan Byers. He will teach us how to roast a chicken. But until then, go make some biscuits. Enjoy your life. I'll see you. It's done. No!